Welcome to Wide Eye Sports, the home of everything NFL, taking the stage as usual. Your favorite sports nuts and couch quarterbacks. Here is your starting lineup. Brenner Mills, Minnesota Vikings. Just want to win one before I die.
I'm Riley Mills, and I didn't go to college. Bear down, baby.
Lane Cooner, the conductor of the Baker train.
What is up, everybody? I hope y'all like our new intro. We're gonna roll with it. That's our brand new intro. We got the full Sunday Night Football lineup. We got the conductor on my right. We got Riley on my left. How y'all doing? How we doing?
Pretty good. I wanted to start out by saying that so I have 3 leagues that I always talk about. In
Fantasy leagues?
Yes. So in 2 of them, it came down to Monday Night Football. I was down 12 and had Malik Neighbors.
Oh.
But in the other league, I was up 15 and playing against Malik Neighbors. He scored 14 points and I was able to win both
God.
of them. Literally beat Noah by 1 point and then won the other one by it was 3 or 4.
I got thoroughly swabbed in 3 out of my 4 main leagues, and then had Pickens in 1 league. Riley was able to get a pretty good dub on me.
No, I've been screwing up though. I've been opening my restaurant the last 2 weeks, so at 10 o'clock, I just take the moment to set my lineups. And both weeks, I've started somebody who ended up being out, and
Oof, I hate that for you. No, I got pretty thoroughly ran in the game I played against Riley. I think I scored 190. He scored 195. And then another league I got pretty well handled in another dynasty league. And then my third league I lost in was I have the 3rd or 4th most points scored in that league. It's the On the Border league. It's the On the Border league, Spoon. I have
lose.
and dude, I am. Let's see here. Let's see if it's updated. Let's say, hold on.
Yeah, the On the Border League was the one that I started T. Higgins, and I looked at it at 10 o'clock, showed that I thought he was still playing, and then turns out, obviously, he didn't. So
there are only 4 out of 12 people with more points scored than me, and I am in 9th place. I currently have the most points scored against me by over 50 points, and then the next closest person to that is over 100 points.
Yep. I'm looking at it right now. You have more points scored than the 3 people ahead of you right now.
More points scored than the
person in 3rd place too.
Yeah, than the person in 3rd place. I mean, I'm only 30 points behind the person in 2nd place. I mean, I'm playing so well, and everybody is just going full Super Saiyan against me.
Now, do you want to look at the person that scored the most fantasy points in that league?
Is it you?
It's me by 1. I'm also in 1st right now.
Well, to be fair, in me and Spoon's main league, the league we've been doing, how many years has that league been going, Spoon?
11 years.
11 years.
Damn.
I am currently in 1st, just beat 2nd place, and most points scored in that league by, let's see here, about 35 points, and then
that's
6 and 2.
That's the league that
sole 1st place.
That's the league that I accidentally started Cooper Kupp last week, and then he ended up sitting out. And I was just like, bro.
No, he played last week. Cooper Kupp had played last week.
He played. It was Thursday
the Vikings
night.
On Thursday Night Football.
No, I'm talking about the week before. Sorry.
Okay.
Technically, the Thursday night game was.
Trust me. I know he played. I'm aware.
No,
we'll get into all that later. So if you don't, we spend a lot of time on fantasy for no reason. If you don't know how we do the podcast, right now we are doing our Wide Eye top 10. We're giving you our power rankings of the week. We each vote. We each give a 1 through 10. 1st is worth 10 points. 10th is worth 1 point. I average out all the numbers, and then we go over it live on the show. So I'm going to get that pulled up here for us and then put it up on the screen. You guys ready to see the bubble teams in team number 10?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So first up, we have the Bears and the Falcons. The Falcons received 1 point. I would like it to be known that I made an executive decision. The
I was gonna
Bears
say I don't know
did
how they're on the. I don't know
so
how they're.
the Bears did not receive a point. They did not receive a single point. But out of pity, I felt so bad for Bears fans that I decided to put them on the bubble because nobody deserves to lose on a Hail Mary. And I'm sorry. Not even
A
Chicago
Hail
and Green
Mary
Bay
that
fans.
was short. It got
Oh my!
tipped into the end zone.
What do you want to talk about it for a second, or do you want to wait?
We can wait.
Okay.
Let's get through this.
We'll talk about that on the main podcast that comes out on Wednesday. So we'll talk more about that.
I'm
But
just gonna guess the Broncos didn't get any love, and I probably would have had the Broncos above the Bears.
well, they yeah, no.
I don't know about that.
Like I said, hold on. Like I said, executive decision
Yeah.
purely based off pity, not because they deserve it. All right. So we have the Atlanta Falcons. They're balling first in their division. Probably going to end up running away with it here pretty soon with injuries in Tampa Bay. Sorry, Spoon. The Baker train is going to be stuck at a station for a little bit. I feel like.
Yeah, they're probably going to be sitting around 15-10 just outside
Yeah.
for a few weeks.
So they got that. Then we got the Philadelphia Eagles. I feel like Philly's come on strong these past few weeks. What do you get? I mean, Jalen Hurts had 4 total touchdowns yesterday. Now, granted, between 3 of them, there were 3 yards gained, but I mean, that's kind of his MO, right? Like that's what he does. The tush push. It's the thing. So, but Philly gets a good win. What do you guys think?
I think they're getting it together. I think they're still kind of recovering from the slow start at the beginning of the season and how last season ended. But I think they're working their way back.
Spoon?
Well, I mean, obviously, getting AJ Brown back is a plus.
Huge.
So,
and Devonta Smith.
Yeah, getting both of those guys back, they're starting to just kind of come together more.
Yeah,
and
starting to click.
Yeah, they're starting to. Yeah, exactly. And I think 10 is a little too low. I have them a little higher, but I mean, it's not. It's our poll. It's not everybody else's, or it's not just mine. So.
Yep. All right, let's look at number 9. The other Pennsylvania team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that Pittsburgh is humming right now. I had them on 9 on my. I think all of us had them at 9.
Yeah.
But
I think I did.
I really feel like Pittsburgh is humming right now, and this is not a slight on Justin Fields at all. Like I'm not saying like Justin Fields is garbage, but you saw last night what their offense can be with a great thrower of the football, like Russ can be in this scheme. Like Russ isn't like a Tom Brady thrower of the football where he's going to throw people open and just, dice people up, but he throws really well outside the numbers with good anticipation, good loft, good over the top in between. He's just really good at that specific thing. And that's what this offense demands. And I feel like he is the perfect Lego piece to plug into this offense to make it run at a high level. Just because Fields isn't the perfect Lego piece for this offense doesn't mean he's bad. It's just he's not the perfect piece for this offense, and I think Russ is. So I think they're on the up and up, and if Russ plays at this level, this is an AFC championship team all day long.
Okay.
No, I completely agree.
Really? You guys think if things stay the way they are now, they're getting to an AFC championship?
Yeah, I do.
I think the possibility is definitely there. Like they have a very good defense that can definitely win an AFC championship, but they just got to make sure that offense is clicking, and right now it is clicking. So.
Yeah, I mean, Russ has done it, right? Russ has done the exact thing I'm describing in Seattle. He just played good enough football not to turn the ball over and get in the way of the offense and do the very few specific things he needs to execute on with a good run game and that defense. Absolutely. This defense is top 3 in the league. I think the best 3 defenses in the league right now are Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and Chicago, with Denver at 4. And I really think that this defense, Kansas City's probably 1, Denver's probably 4, Chicago's probably 3, and Pittsburgh's probably 2, in my opinion. But, I mean, we've seen Russ do this. He's literally done this before, where he just has to execute the few small things he needs to, and they can win at a high level.
Okay.
So, I mean, you're a little young to remember that. You don't really remember the early Russ days, do you?
And that's why I have trouble seeing it again. Like, Yes, did he do it? But it was also 10 years ago.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
I remember it mostly because the team that he went to the Super Bowl with was called the defense had a nickname for
Legion
a
of
reason.
Boom.
Exactly. Their defense was outstanding, amazing. It wasn't just Russ that took them to the Super
Yeah.
Bowl and won it. Their defense carried it. And he has that caliber of a defense right now that can do the same thing.
Hold on. Time out.
Not okay.
Okay.
It's not as good, okay?
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
okay. Just a
the Seahawks-
top end defense. Just a
Yes,
top
I'm-
end defense.
I'm not going to sit here and say the Legion of Boom is worse or is worse or equal to the defense that he has now. That defense was just outstanding, amazing, but he does have a top defense that can obviously do what needs to get done on the field and take them to an AFC Championship game.
Yeah. All right. You guys ready to find out who's at number 8?
Yeah,
Any guesses?
Green Bay.
Spoon?
No clue.
The Baltimore Ravens. Spoon's got me and Spoon got into this earlier today. Oh,
actually
Riley,
did.
just wait. You say, oh, really, Riley? Just wait for this. Yeah, I think Baltimore they suffer a bad divisional loss, and division games are weird. Weird shit happens. Lamar never plays well in Cleveland, or never wins much in Cleveland. I think he's under 500 for his career in Cleveland. It tends to happen. The Ravens do have one other bad loss, as Spoon's more than likely to point out, but I think last week we had them as like a top 4 team. And I don't think one bad divisional loss knocks them out of the top 10 by any means. I do think it knocks them down a couple pegs, but I don't think it knocks them out of the top 10. They're a mid 5 to 10 range. They could be a 7, 8, wherever you want to put them there.
Did anyone have them outside of 10?
I had him at 11.
Yeah.
So if you want,
okay.
I mean, do you want to hear my reasoning?
Yeah,
for it?
absolutely.
Absolutely.
You should get
Yes,
to defend
please,
yourself. Absolutely.
please do.
So I had them last week at 5 or 6. They weren't in my top 3, but I'm looking at all the teams that I have above them. Yes, the Ravens have beaten, I think, 2 of the teams in the top 10, but I'm looking at losses. There's not a single team in this top 10 that has a worse loss than Baltimore, and Baltimore's done it twice now. They've done it to the Raiders. Like, the worst losses, the Steelers lost to the Cowboys, who are still 3-4. The Ravens have lost now twice to 2 teams that are 2-6. So that just tells you that they're kind of weak. And it's not really that I'm hating on Lamar. I'm hating on that defense. That defense right now is 28th in the league with points allowed.
Agreed.
That defense is not good. And I don't see them going. Honestly, I don't see them making it very far with that type of defense. That's my big thing.
And I'll give you that. All your points are valid. They're on point. My thing is we are seeing, this is crazy to say, we are seeing the best version we have seen of Lamar Jackson so far this season. He's top 5 in passing yards. He's been all over the field. And as of today, Tuesday, October 29th, he just got a new receiver in Deontay Johnson that we'll talk more about on the main podcast episode. But now you have, 2 good tight ends in Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. You have Derrick fucking Henry, who leads the league in every rushing stat. You have Zay Flowers, talented second-year kid who can run a good route and get open. Has a couple big mistakes in his career so far, but he can get open. And Deontay Johnson, who is a possession ball magnet. Like, and on top of that, you have a 2-time MVP playing at the best he's ever played. Like, that is more than enough to overcome this defense. All this defense has to do is keep people under 24 points a game, and they'll be okay. Like, and granted, that's not asking a lot. Like, I feel like 24, 25 points is very bad defense on a weekly basis, and I feel like that's all they have to do to potentially get a dub, because I think that Baltimore could go into Pittsburgh tomorrow and put up 25 points. So it just doesn't worry me. Now, does it worry me in terms of a Super Bowl win? Yes. But they are the best offense outside of Washington, period. And
you think Washington has a better offense than them?
Playing, like, as far as like how well they're playing right now, Jaden Daniels didn't play as well this past week because I feel he was hurt. Like, I don't know if you saw, but on the sideline, every time he came over the sideline, they were wrapping his ribs and putting ice on him. So he's not 100%, but I feel like Washington and Baltimore have been the 2 best offenses this season with Tampa Bay in a close third, but they're obviously banged up really hard right now, so you can't really put them up there. But those three offensive have been the best so far. And you could potentially even put Green Bay's offense up there with Jordan Love throwing it up 50 times a game, but half of those are coming down into the other guy's arms. So, But no, I think Baltimore is a 9-7 ranking. I think this is good. Riley, would you have them higher or lower?
I'd have them higher just because that offense is rolling so well. I think that they can overcome their defense giving up a whole lot of points. And I also think that their style of play can help alleviate some stress off of the defense because they can run the ball 30 times a game, chew up some clock, keep the ball out of the opponent's hands.
Yep. I mean, we said it before the season. How are you going to stop this rushing attack? And so far, that
no one has.
They have lost games, but they've been running the ball all over everybody. They have lost games, and I do really feel like even great teams lose, right? Like that's a trap game 101 against the Raiders, and then a divisional game on the road against the Browns.
With a backup quarterback in his first game.
Yeah, it's not a good loss, Spoon, and I agree with you on that. Like they're not good losses, but they are normal losses, if that makes sense. So, I mean, trap game happens to every great team. I remember the first year the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, they lost to Indy on like week 5. Like it just like weird stuff happens.
Yeah, but I can overlook a trap game, but they've had 2 already, and it's only
but the divisional game, the trap game, that's a divisional game on the road
with Jameis Winston as the starting quarterback,
which you have no film on. You have no film. You're going in there blind. This is totally normal for a backup quarterback in his first game to light up a defense, and their defense isn't good anyways. So everything kind of makes sense there. I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl team. I'm saying they're a top 10 team. But all right, we'll move on. I feel like I'm just repeating myself now. Number 7, the Green Bay Packers. Now, I do feel that Green Bay is, accurately ranked with Jordan Love healthy in the starting lineup, and we're gonna, assume for the most part he'll play most of the rest of the season. He may miss a week with the groin injury. But I assumed in my power ranking that he would be okay and that he's not lost for another 4 or 5 weeks type thing again. So I think that this is very accurate for Green Bay. I feel like they're playing good ball. Their offense is humming. Their defense is playing a lot better. We'll have to see how long Jair Alexander's out for. I don't think he's as hyped up as everybody else does, but he is a, top 20 to top 15 corner every week, no question. So yeah, I feel like that's a loss no matter what. Whenever you lose a player of that quality, you guys think this is about right for Green Bay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, right around there. Playing Jacksonville so close makes me a little bit nervous.
Well, Jordan Love missed a lot.
They lost Jordan Love for half the game.
And they were up.
Jordan Love doesn't give up 27 points. You know what I mean?
That's fair. But the Jaguars' offense, other than the London game, has not really been the option or the problem this season. It's been their defense. Tank Bigsby's been on a roll. They got good receivers. Trevor Lawrence can sling it. He's not winning games, but he can still throw the ball.
Are you saying Gabe Davis is a good wide receiver?
I mean, I'm not saying he's Pro Bowler. I'm saying he's good. Does that make sense? Yeah, man. No, I see what you're trying to do there. And
I mean, as a Cowboys fan, I would love to have Gabe Davis as my number 2. Okay? I would love to have him as my number 2.
I'm just saying he's not bottom of the barrel. He's not, he's not a bottom 60 receiver.
I mean, I feel like we're not even mentioning. I think Gabe Davis is like their 3rd receiver. They have Brian Thomas Jr., who's
ETJ.
Amazing.
He's out 2 to 4 weeks, and I've been saying this, and a lot of people are going to hate on me for this. I liked him more than I like Malik Neighbors, and now Malik is getting 40 targets a game in New York, so putting up way more numbers. But I think the fact that Brian Thomas Jr. was able to go into Jacksonville, beat out a bunch of established veterans for the wide receiver 1 spot speaks volumes, and I think this kid is going to be insane, have a great career. I think it'll look a lot like the JJ and Jamar situation where they were both like high-end, like first-round talents, and everybody expects Malik Neighbors to be better, But I think Brian Thomas Jr. will actually have the better career. I think he plays better ball. I think he has a better attitude. I like his game more. So
And they
he
also have
doesn't.
Christian Kirk too.
Yeah,
so-
Christian Kirk. Thank
and
you.
he's not
But-
terrible.
No, but he hasn't been healthy this season either. But anyways, Green Bay Packers accurately ranked. I think that's okay. Let's move on into the number 6 team, the Washington Commanders. Now, I moved them down here because they should have lost their game. Let's be real. Painfully, they did win. Sorry, Chicago. But they should have lost this game. If not for the instant karma of Tyreek Stevenson, they would have lost this game. I think Tyreek should be cut. I think he should be cut off. You can't, bro. They literally lost a whole game, because of him.
But he is a good corner. He's in his
That's cool.
second year. He's from
That's cool.
Miami. Like
That's cool.
it,
He cost
it
you
won't
a
happen again.
whole game. I saw there were a couple guys on ESPN really ripping Flus for publicly outing Tyreek as being the guy who was supposed to box out Noah Brown. And I don't get it. Like, I get it. Like,
did not take any blame for that last drive by Washington, and
well, I mean, it's a
have
Hail
problem-
Mary.
Well, no, the play before that, Flus gives them a free 15 yards on an out.
Well, to be fair, Jaden Daniels was still throwing from his 35-yard line. Like, it wasn't like they were in Hail Mary range. Like, the throw was still short with a crow hop. It bounced into
the play before that, if you don't give them that, the Hail Mary is now 15 yards short of the end. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but at the same time, if you play a real defense and you give up a real play,
you don't have to play real defense. You can still be in prevent and not be 30 yards deep. You can play 10 yards off and guard the boundaries.
But that's just cover one.
Yeah, I think what they were doing there is they were just trying to kind of get back to where like field goal range is and try to keep them down. And obviously 15 yards would have still kept them out of field goal range.
Well, still field goal range would have sent them into overtime. Like I would.
Yeah, but like
I don't know. I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad about giving up that. I put the blame, the defense, the offense, everybody else put the Bears in a position to win the game, and Tyreek Stevenson didn't do his job at the very end to win the game. Could everybody? But they did.
No, Flus had to be pulled off the field by Caleb. So before that play, Flus had to be pulled off the field by Caleb Williams because he was yelling stuff at the secondary as they were about to snap the ball. Not only was Tyreek Stevenson had his back to the play, the coach was yelling at the rest of the secondary when the ball was snapped. If you're still communicating when they're ready to take a timeout.
But hold on. That's complete. Hold on. That's normal for defensive coordinators. Like, they talk about Brian Flores all the time. Like, he is calling in plays with, like, as the ball is being snapped. Like, they're like, we always have to be prepared for a play call change because he'll call a stunt in right as the play is snapped if he sees something.
You knew what they were gonna do. They were gonna go for a Hail Mary. So why do you not have that stuff figured out beforehand? And I
he
disagree.
Probably did.
I think you have to play a real defense in the play before that, so that they are still out of.
But that highly increases the chance that they get a big play.
I disagree. Go into a cover 4, play the cover 4 20, 30 yards deep.
Then they throw a screen pass and they get 30 yards anyways.
And they're tackled in bounds. The clock runs out. The game's over. They had to get out of bounds on that play.
Yeah, and he would have done it. They would have just ran a screen play, and as soon as he was about to get tackled, run out of bounds.
No.
I'm telling you, that's what would have happened. But anyways, do you have an issue with Washington being ranked 6th?
Nope, that's where I had him.
No, not really. That's right where I have them.
That's about where I had him, so I'm good with it. All right, number 5. We're getting into the top 5. The Minnesota Vikings. Painful week for everybody here on the show. We just talked about Riley's pain. I guess we'll talk about mine now. The Detroit statistic strikes again. A week after playing the Detroit Lions, we lose. Teams are now 0-5 after playing the Lions. Short week, traveling across the country. It was still a 1-score game until the refs missed probably the most egregious face mask penalty we've ever seen, or at least I've ever seen not get called. I will talk way more in detail about that on the main podcast show, airing tomorrow, or on Wednesday, Wednesday the 30th. So we'll talk about that more then. But yeah, I just can't. I mean, I feel like we should have won that game. I don't know. How much of that game did you guys watch?
I didn't watch it, if I'm being completely honest.
Spoon?
I believe I was working at the time, so I didn't really get to see much.
So it was. I mean, there was
you
one.
were there. You
yeah,
saw
I
it
was.
firsthand.
I was at the game. There was one drive where we had 5 third down stops on one drive, and they scored a touchdown. Because every third down stop, a penalty flag would come out. And I have some videos that we'll get into on the regular podcast, and we'll talk about that stuff. So I'm not going to go into it there. But this Vikings team, still good. We're going to lose Christian Darrisaw for the season. That really hurts. That's a top 3 left tackle in the league. That's really painful. Torn ACL, has to have surgery, be back next season, but that really hurts the team. But we're getting TJ Hawkinson back. You're trading an all-pro for a different all-pro. While I don't feel like TJ's is impactful, I feel like his acquisition helps us remove some of the slack lost by Darrisaw. So while I no longer think they're a top 3 team right now, I do think they're still a top 5 team. And I think we'll get right against the Colts and Joe Flacco.
Okay.
That work for everybody?
Works for me. That's exactly where I had him too, I think.
Cool.
No, I just worry that this is the beginning of their fall back to earth.
I mean, it definitely is in that they've fallen back to earth, but this offense is still good. I do feel like we've struggled in the second halves, especially. And every time up until Thursday night, all season, we've struggled in the second half offensively. But every time we needed a score, we got it until last night or until Thursday night. And that was not our fault. Like, we should have. It was second down. We had 2 more downs to convert there. Jordan Addison is wide open 25 yards downfield. Sam Darnold is rolling to his right where Jordan Addison is standing wide open. Like, that ball gets thrown for 25-yard completion 8 times out of 10. And if they throw the face mask call, it's an automatic first down anyways. So, but regardless, they didn't win. We're moving on to number 4. Any guesses? Top 4? Nope, no guesses. Okay, all right. We have the Houston Texans at 4. Yeah, they made it into 4 on our rankings. 1 point ahead of the Vikings. I feel like Houston, when they get Nico Collins back, they lost Stephon Diggs for the season, but they'll still have Nico Collins and Tank Dell. Joe Mixon is probably the second best running back in the league so far this year when healthy, right behind Derrick Henry, and maybe third behind Saquon as well. And then that defense, I mean, Danielle Hunter had 2 sacks this weekend. The secondary's not playing great, I will admit, but the defensive line's playing really well, stopping the run well. I think they've been playing well. Anybody else?
No, I don't think they've been winning like they should. I mean, a lot of their wins are close wins over 500 teams. What, didn't they just beat the Colts by a field goal?
Yeah, but that also, once again, division game.
They beat the Bears by a field goal.
One of the best defenses in the NFL.
They beat the Bills by a field goal.
A top 10 team.
Yep. That's why I have them at 4. They're still getting by.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not what I would want out of a top 4 team. If you're a top
4
team,
I mean, by that standard, Kansas City shouldn't be a top 4 team then, because that's what Kansas City's doing. I'm the only person that didn't have Kansas City at 1. So, but all right, we'll move on to number 3. The Buffalo Bills, the aforementioned Buffalo Bills. Now, Houston did beat Buffalo, but Buffalo's been playing hot recently. I do like them. They have a tough matchup on the road against Miami, division opponent, so this is definitely a week that they could get caught. But I like Buffalo. They've been playing well. They've been spreading the ball around, moving. James Cook's been playing well. I just feel like the whole team's playing pretty well.
If only someone would have said Buffalo is not out. I tried telling you guys Buffalo is still a good team.
Yeah,
you were
you
like,
did.
no, Miami's got the division.
I mean, I said
Buffalo's
Josh
got the
Allen was
class.
Josh Allen was my MVP favorite.
Yeah, I'm really the only one who didn't believe in Buffalo here.
Yeah.
All right, I'll admit that I had no reason to believe in Buffalo, and I stand on that. And they have proved me wrong, and I'm totally okay with being wrong, because at the time I was very right. But
I'm sure people are also saying like, oh, but they lost to the Texans. Why are they? Listen, the Texans were home. They were lost by a field goal. If you put them on a neutral side, I think the Bills take them head to head.
you mean the Texans?
Yeah,
Or the Bills take them.
The Bills take the Texans head to head because the Texans did beat them 4 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was week 3.
And also
right.
the Bills win over Seattle in Seattle, 31-10. That was pretty impressive to me.
That was huge. Seattle hasn't been a good team at home so far this season. I really don't know what to make of Seattle yet. I'm kind
They're
of
still a weird team
because they lose to the Giants at home, but then they go to Atlanta and dominate Atlanta, and then they come back home and lose to the Bills in an insane fashion. So who knows? But Buffalo's been humming, so they get the 3 spot. Number 2, the Detroit Lions. I mean, 1 and 2. I'm just gonna show 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Detroit Lions, Kansas City Chiefs. These are the 2 best teams in the NFL. I think Detroit's the best team in the NFL. I had them at 1 on my list. They deserve to be number 1. Kansas City is winning close games on their defense's back, and Detroit has dominated 2 of their past 3 opponents with ease. So, and
no, they've dominated 3 of their last 4. Because I mean, I would consider them beating Seattle by 13. That's pretty good. I'm pretty sure Seattle scored a garbage time touchdown too.
Okay, I'll give you that. But either way, I think Detroit's the best team in the NFL at the midway point, and I think Kansas City is not fraudulent because that defense is for real, but they're the polar opposite of the Ravens. They just haven't lost yet. So they're just the same thing the Ravens are, but flipped.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I can't take Kansas City out of 1 because they still haven't lost a game this season. But if I was betting and you put these 2 teams on a neutral site, I'm putting my money on Detroit to win.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Riley, any thoughts?
I mean, I'm not sure. I think if they went head to head, I'd still take the Chiefs. I just don't.
I'd take the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
I would take the Chiefs in Detroit.
Ugh.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Not right now. Not what I mean. Jared Goff had to throw for 85 yards for them to dominate a team. I mean,
but it was Seattle. I am not high on. I think they're a 500 team.
no, they played the Titans.
They play the Titans.
Oh, that's
worse.
even worse.
Yeah.
But
But my point.
They
my
put up
point still
52
stands.
points, my
They
guy.
put up 52 points, and Jared Goff only had to throw for 85 yards for them to put up 52 points.
I'd have to watch the game.
You should.
I
You
I
should
mean,
be
it was just
watching
their
every game.
whole team was just on fire. Like they ran a kickoff back to start the second half.
Like their whole. I do think.
I don't see them doing that against the Chiefs. You know what
I would
mean?
like to pose the question. Are they peaking too early? How many times at the midway point of the season are we like, this team's winning the Super Bowl, and they actually win the Super Bowl? Because last season it wasn't the Chiefs. Year before that, we weren't thinking the Chiefs. Year before that, we weren't thinking the Rams.
They give me hardcore. What year did the Vikings go 13-3 and then lost their first playoff game?
2021.
They remind me a lot of the 21 Vikings.
No, the 21 Vikings won 12 of their 13 games by 1 score or less.
I mean, we're definitely going to find out pretty soon what they are because their schedule is pretty tough.
Yeah, their schedule gets real tough. Their schedule gets so the NFC North all has like a similar schedule.
Right.
Obviously, the Vikings had a gauntlet to start the season, right? Like our hard part was our first half of the season, and then the entire rest of the NFC North is flipped. The Packers, the Bears, and the Lions all play the toughest half of their schedule in the back half.
Yeah.
So
like they're like 3 of the 5 out of conference game or out of division games they play are against the Bills, the Niners, and the Texans.
Yeah. No, they got some games left on their schedule, and it's
And I'm only saying the 49ers because it's in San Francisco.
I would say the 49ers either way. They'll be healthy by then. McCaffrey will be back by then. It'll be a whole different
Hopefully.
team.
Fingers crossed
So,
that he's back.
I mean,
by then.
they said yesterday, they said Monday morning presser that he has a chance to play this week. So we'll see. But all right, that is our NFL post week 8 top 10. You guys got anything you want to get off your chest before we say goodbye?
No.
All right. Well, make sure to tune in next week. We'll do this whole thing over again. Make sure to like, subscribe, give us a little love. We appreciate you, and we'll see y'all next time.